What's going on, Geminites? It's your boy Gem Mint.
And it's your girl Phie.
We're here with the House of X Issue 2 breakdown, so stay tuned. Alright, so we are going to be talking spoilers. We're going to go ahead and break on down House of X Issue 2. And man, I really like this issue.
I really enjoyed this issue. I have a new love for the name Moira.
Moira. It's from the old country. Mm-hmm. So when I first saw the first couple pages with Moira, I'm like, okay, whatever, pretty cool. This was also in the beginning of House of X Issue 1. But then when I realized the issue was called The Uncanny Life of Moira McTaggart, I was like, do I really want a whole issue about Moira? But, it's the issue that we didn't know that we wanted. This
it was really good.
A dope issue. It starts off and it tells us what we know about Moira. Hey, she grew up, she had a loving family, they had kids, she had kids, and then she died. That's it. She's not a mutant, she was never a hero. That's like her role. So then they show us this baby in this womb and they tell us, okay, Moira's second life. So we're like, what?
Coming in?
So she kind of got like a Groundhog Day coming on where she was born again, but in the womb, she remembers everything that happened in her previous life. And she is a baby in physical form, but in her mind, she's got everything. And she doesn't she doesn't move forward in time. It's like Groundhog Day, but she's gained all the wisdom from her previous life.
It's better than Groundhog Day, though, because it's not a day that she's living over. It's a whole life. And it's like, hey, I know I'm about to die, but I'm about to be back.
So in her second life, she can't live life the way that she did the first time because when she met her husband, or who her husband was for the first time, she already knows all his flaws. She already knows everything about him. It's hard to fall in love. It's like knowing your previous life means you cannot live your second life the same way because it's too much. Mm-hmm. So she ends up doing her own thing. She gets interested in Charles Xavier, and she plans to fly to go see him, and it's like her plane crashed and she died on the way there.
I was like, way to end that.
I was like, what? So, man, it's really cool. So then in her third life, same thing. She has all the knowledge from her first and second life, and then she devotes herself to studies and goes to Oxford and meets Professor X.
It's such an awesome power. It's so cool.
So in one of her lives, because she ends up dying a couple times, so then she realizes that she must be a mutant. She must be a mutant, and her mutant power is reincarnation. So she devotes her next life to curing the mutant disease. And she does, and she's successful, but it rubs the wrong way of this mutant who is, I don't know if this is new to me, Destiny, who has like the same powers as her, and she's rolling with Mystique and Pyro.
She doesn't reincarnate, she just has knowledge of the future.
Oh, is that what it was?
Yeah.
She was like, if you kill me, my present self will see my death coming with your next life, and I'll prevent it.
Yeah, see, Destiny, and I have the power to see the future.
So that's Destiny. And Destiny is kind of like, she can't see. Remember, she says Mystique.
But she can see.
So anyway, what's dope is, they don't like that in this life, that Moira was able to make a cure for the mutant disease, right? And it's cool how they kill her. She's like, I don't want to die like this.
The mutant condition.
Right. But, they say disease. I'm using things. Anyway, they say, no, Pyro, burn her and make sure she dies slow so she remembers this death. So you don't do it next time.
She's going to remember it anyway. It's like, that's her power. She remembers all of it.
So that's cool. So then in the next life, so I think we're on the fifth life now, she comes back and she decides to team up with Professor X, lets him read her mind, and shows him what goes down.
Which is the first book, right? That's the scene from the first book?
Yeah. Oh, actually, I think the scene from the first book is on her 10th life. We'll look more into it because
they give you the whole timeline at the back.
We're gonna look at. We're gonna show the picture.
You'll have it.
Hickman hit us with the whole timeline of all 10 lives, which is another interesting Powers of 10, House of X kind of thing. So she gets told by Destiny that you're probably only gonna have 9, maybe 10 lives if you're lucky, and if I kill you before your mutant power kicks in, before puberty, 13 years old, you're not going to come back. So anyway, when she tells Professor X he reads her mind, he kind of says, yo, we got to gear up for this Sentinel battle, because she shows him the gifted age of the 60s, the uncanny age where it's a time of hate and fear, the Phoenix Force, Lost Decade they call it, and shows them Days of Future Past where they eventually die from Sentinels. So then your boy Professor X basically gears up to fight the Sentinels. That didn't work. The Sentinels still win. She comes back on her next life, because really what they're saying is Days of Future Past happen and everybody dies. Her next life, she tries to assassinate the entire Trask family lineage.
She does. She tries.
Bolivar Trask, Donald Trask, which I figured is probably like a political jab. And she tries to kill all of them, but during a certain technological advancement of humans, Sentinels will always happen. It's whether or not it's the Trask family that makes them or not, right? So boom, now we're on to another life. This time she says, all right, it didn't work with Xavier, so who'd she go see?
On her 8th life, she goes to Big M.
That boy.
Mags.
That boy Maggie Mags.
And she's like, come with that green
come with that costume. Green fit that I like. No, but and then Earth's Mightiest Heroes and all the Marvel heroes end up taking him down. That plan didn't work. So, 9th life, who she go see? Your boy Apocalypse.
I don't know why that.
I love it.
Link up, it just is so intriguing.
And she says basically it's my last hope to go for Apocalypse.
She went from wanting to cure it to now she's like, no, we're riding all of us mutants. We're killing all the humans.
Yeah, because she's seen that those other things failed. And then it shows her fighting Nimrod with Apocalypse in the future. That's dope.
I didn't even see that was, yeah.
But that doesn't work, right? So she dies. And then in the last one, her 10th life is where the issue ends. And it's her telling Xavier what she tells him in the issue 1 of House of X.
Right, that's what I was going to say, yes.
So what's the plan now? I guess the plan now is let's get all of us together.
Right.
Because that's why they're on Krakoa now with Professor X, Magneto, etc. We got to team up because I tried this shit multiple ways and it ain't working out. And we're all going to die.
I'm here. I've always been there. I've always been here, yeah.
So Moira, so much depth has been added to this kind of one-dimensional character.
Yes.
She's always just been like a friendly to mutants. That's kind of always been her role. She's a friendly, she's like a geneticist. Anyway, let's go ahead and show the timeline, and we'll go through that in depth. Here we go. So here's the beginning of the timeline. The many lives of Moira X is what they're calling her. So here's the 10 lives, and they all start the same. Year 1, she's born. And we didn't really mention, but she has to kind of hide this mutant power of hers as a kid. She can't really say she knows these things or that she's super smart, because then it'll mess everything up or whatever.
People will raise an eyebrow.
Right. So the first 2 timelines, she enrolls into Edenborough Academy, but in the 3 through 10, she doesn't even do all that. She gets her mutant powers at 13 in every timeline, and we can see in this timeline, the 5th one, she goes to see Xavier earlier. Remember, she goes at year 13 to see him 10 years before she meets him at Oxford and all those other previous timelines. Timeline continues. So the first one, Moira meets Kenneth Cohen, falls in love. This is the boring lifeline, right? She meets Xavier at 16. At 19, she marries dude. She gives kids. Very boring, whatever. In the second timeline, she enrolls at Oxford instead of marrying Kenneth Cohen. She becomes a biology professor at 20, and then she dies in that plane crash, right? Third lifeline, she enrolls in Oxford at 16, and I think that's the one where she falls in love with Xavier. Oh, here it goes. Is it too much to read all this?
Yeah, I mean, just sort of like people can pause it. I think maybe when I looked at it, I jumped all around and just looked at all the. I didn't really go all the way through a timeline.
Yeah, I'm not going to go through everything. I mean, we don't got all day here, but you get the idea of the different timelines and the changes that she made, and it's all really to kind of prevent the inevitable war or whatever you want to call it. Like, the funny thing is in Powers of 10, we see that mutants win and humans are enslaved. I mean, is that the goal? She is a mutant.
You'll have to tune in next week.
Tune in next week to find out.
I like how they when she fell into a coma, they're like, I mean, she was still alive, but how alive? They put the little...
Exactly. So, now the timeline makes sense. If this issue was highlighted in red, we definitely got a big reveal with Moira and kind of where Hickman's going with this storyline. I love this issue.
Oh, yeah.
Talking about it, especially.
I'm glad they put it in red, because I'm like, yes, that's a good one.
Now we got 5 issues that are not in red, so hopefully it's not filler. I don't think so. But
I don't think so.
This was supposed to be like a big reveal issue, and I think it paid off. I'm definitely excited and happy
the next 2 coming out are both going to be Powers, and then back-to-back House.
I see that. Powers of 10 comes out next week with issue 2. Then the week after that's issue 3. Then House of X3 and a House of X4. And then we get back to
Back, forth.
Back to back. Let us know what you think about House of X issue 2 in the comments below. Is it making everything? Is everything coming around? Is it starting to take shape?
Make sure that you tune in on Sunday to do our book club. Are we gonna do it this Sunday?
We might even talk Absolute Carnage then.
Okay, so maybe we'll do.
Because you didn't do the review with me. You'll read it by then.
Okay, yeah.
And it's a really good issue.
Okay, it's so big.
It is. That's what she said. Anyway, make sure to hit that like, Lizzle, hit the subscribe, hit the bell, do all that stuff, and come chill with us Sunday afternoon, evening, whatever. And we'll talk more about it with you guys in the chat.
I'm so excited.
Stay minty fresh. Peace. What's up, Geminites? It's your boy Gem Mint.
And it's your girl Phie.
We're here with the What is this? Okay, ready?
Wait, what are we doing?
House of X.
Right.
I just touched your boob.